Hello everyone, it's Lewis and welcome back to Lewis's Football Mind for episode 2 of the Football Talk, which is a show hosted just by me where I talk about different news, different transfers, different stories in the football world right now. So last week we were talking about the rise of Girona, how well they're doing in La Liga, Kylian Mbappe saga, and other things as well. But this week we will be talking about the FA Cup review. Um, saw some fantastic ties, some upsets in those games, and we will go through the major talking points from the FA Cup. We will also be talking about my Premier League predictions for 2024, so including Euros winner, Premier League, all that. So make sure you watch it all. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and like this video, and to like my TikTok, which is also Lewis's Football Mind as well. So right, let's get right into it with the FA Cup review. So I will go down the other results. I've just picked a few of the big results or the big talking points. But here are some. So Fulham 1, Rotherham 0, Coventry 6, Oxford United 2. Millwall 2, Leicester 3, Wimbledon 1, Ipswich 3, Watford 2, Chesterfield 1, Stoke City 2, Brighton and Hove Albion 4, Gillingham 0, Sheffield United 4, Blackburn 5, Cambridge 2, Newport 1, Eastleigh 1, Norwich 1, Bristol Rovers 1, QPR 2, Bournemouth 3, Plymouth 3, Sutton 1. Southampton 4, Walsall 0, Hull 1, Birmingham 1, Sheffield Wednesday 4, Cardiff 0, Chelsea 4, Preston 0, Swansea 2, Morecambe 0, Middlesbrough 0, Aston Villa 1, West Ham 1, Bristol Rovers 1, Nottingham Forest 2, Blackpool 2, Luton 0, Bolton Wanderers 0, Peterborough 0, Leeds United 3, Shrewsbury 0, Wrexham 1, West Brom 4, also 1. So they're the games that didn't really have talking points, but some good results for different clubs, especially to Eastleigh, who were down to 10 men for a lot of the game against Newport away from home, who are National League side Eastleigh, so they are forced to replay. And if they win that game, they will face Manchester United at home. That would be massive for Eastleigh. Unbelievable that would be for the football club. So hopefully they can beat Newport in the next round. The replay side, and get that big tie. But also Newport, who are, I believe, in League Two as well. So it would be great for both clubs as well. Right, we'll go through the talking points of the big games or so. But let's start with Thursday night, which is Crystal Palace 0, Everton 0. This wouldn't be near a talking point unless there was an incident, and there was, and it was a red card given to Dominic Calvert-Lewin, which is quite bizarre if you look at it. It's a atrocious decision. The VAR told the referee to go to the screen and look at it, and the referee has somehow decided it is a red card. Sure, he gets all the ball, then maybe gets a bit of after, but how is that a red card? I don't know why VAR have asked him to go over, and then I don't know why the referee is giving that a red card. Unless VAR have just told him give it a red card. It's bizarre. It really, really is. Nathaniel Klein's reaction as well. Just probably put more pressure on the VAR and the referee, but absolutely bizarre decision. And luckily for everyone, they got a replay, so. But at the same time, I don't think these Premier League clubs will want replays, especially in these big schedules, especially around this January time. So it's probably not good to have replays for the Premier League sides. But it's a bizarre decision, absolutely stupid decision. But Sky Sports News have just reported Everton's appeal has been successful. So Calvert-Lewin will not go through that 3-game suspension and will be back in the Everton squad. So he'll be able to play that replay and FA Cup 4th round if they go through as well. So that was quite nothing else really in that game. The next one is Brentford 1, Wolves 1. Another red card, Joao Gomez. People are saying it's not a red card. I think it's a red card. It stamps back of his, I think it was his ankle. For me, red card. I think Brentford could have had a red card as well. I think there was an instance on there touchline as well. But there was an absolute screamer from Tommy Doyle for Wolves, who did brilliant. They were down to 10 men for 81 minutes of this game and still somehow got a draw. But of course, they have to go and do replay as well, which they'll probably take, especially being down to 10 men for so long in this game. Neil Maupay, give a big shout to him. There was a video last week of him with a Brentford fan who was telling him to do this celebration for him, and Neil Maupay scored, and he did it. It was like 2-1, I believe, which is really heartwarming, really nice by Neil Maupay, and it must have made that kid's day. So really, really good of Neil Maupay to do that. That definitely deserved a shout out there as well. The next game is Tottenham 1, Burnley 0. Again, nothing too much in this game except a Pedro Porro screamer, who has been excellent this season. Pedro Porro definitely been one of the best right backs in the Premier League this season, and he's got a good strike of the ball as well. What a goal this is, absolute worldy as well. So that definitely deserves a shout out as well. Brilliant goal, one of the goals, or if not the goal of the round. Next up is the lowest tier team left, Maidstone United, who are in National League South right now. They were playing Gateshead last season. I was watching Gateshead versus Maidstone last season, and now they're in the FA Cup fourth round for, I believe, the first time in their history, which is absolutely fantastic for them. Brilliant, and the money they'll get off that is superb, and it could definitely help the club push for promotion back to the National League. It was a 45th minute penalty, which separated the two sides in that one. But congratulations to Maidstone. They have a tough away game to Ipswich in the fourth round, but who knows, they might be able to win. If they do, it would be one of the biggest shocks in the FA Cup history, 100%. Right, we'll get on to the Weir Tyne derby between Sunderland and Newcastle United. I was quite disappointed with this game, actually. I didn't think it was a good game. I thought Sunderland would have given Newcastle a better game. Obviously, there's a massive difference between the two squads. But Sunderland were very poor, constantly played out from the back, which is stupid by a team who presses probably the most in Europe as well in Newcastle United. So really, really stupid. Gifted Newcastle 3 goals there. The first one, unlucky, but should be doing better. Honestly, really good finish by Ballard, but have to be doing better in those situations. So quite disappointing. Ballard was having an absolutely fantastic game before that incident, and then the second half, absolutely stupid. Playing out from the back, big mistake. Newcastle poach and score. That's game over. 45th minute, just after half time. And if it's Sunderland keep it 1-0, you never know, they can push up the last 20 minutes and go for it. But 2-0, nah, game over. And then the third one, Ballard, just frustration, just bodies going to the ground, clear penalty, Isak slots it 3-0. Yeah, obviously massive difference between the two squads. I thought it was quite a boring game, actually, as a neutral. Obviously Newcastle fans wouldn't have thought that because of the scoreline, and Sunderland fans must have been drooling for them. But I wish Sunderland gave them a better game. I wish it was a more tight game, but in the end it was just mistakes, and it's like that experience and that quality, which is the difference, of course, between Championship and Premier League. But Newcastle win the first Weir Tyne derby in around 8 years, I believe, and it's the first time they've beat Sunderland since 2011. So a long, long wait. Might not meant as much. Obviously, you've been waiting ages, but it's always better when the teams are like near level with each other, with quality wise. But honestly, the way Newcastle are going and the way Sunderland are going, it's going to be a long time before we see a derby where both teams are on par, which is a shame, to be honest. But that's how football and society is right now. Next game, Man City 5, Huddersfield 0. Kevin De Bruyne back, which is probably the major talking point, and got an assist. As Jurgen Klopp said, the Premier League is going to be very, very scared. Very, very scared. Be afraid, be very, very afraid, is what they all say. And you can't blame them. Obviously, I don't think everyone should be scared of just KDB, because Man City, without KDB, are still only 5 points off Liverpool, who are top of the Premier League, and have a game in hand as well. also in the FA Cup, and one of the favourites to win the Champions League. So I don't think City are having a really bad season compared to what everyone's saying, where they're having a disaster. Obviously, they haven't been at the level we expect of them, but they've just won a treble. Of course, you're going to see a bit of fatigue in the squad. But yeah, you're still back City to win the league. I'm saying Liverpool, but we'll get onto that a bit later on. But easy win for Manchester City, 5-0. Finally, we have Arsenal 2. Oh, sorry. Arsenal 0, Liverpool 2. Come on! Come on! Honestly, did we deserve to win that game based on the chances? Absolutely not. But Arsenal did not put the ball in the back of the net, and we held on, and then we, last 10 minutes, started to attack more and more, and we got the goal. A Kyrgios own goal, and then a Luis Diaz thunderbolt in the 95th minute. Really good finish by Diaz. Really good finish by Kyrgios as well. Obviously heading it in his own net as well. And the Liverpool fans go bonkers. Really good win. I was saying if we got knocked out of this competition, then it happens, you know. But I always wanted to go through. It's the joy of the FA Cup, of course. I have to give every competition respect, which is what Jurgen Klopp does with this squad. But we are in still all 4 competitions. We do have a lot of injuries right now, which is really, really concerning. Not a good time to get them at all. We do have quite a busy January. We are not playing dead hard teams, but we're playing a Fulham side twice, who always give us a good game, in my opinion. Especially that 4-3 game at the end of the season. Bournemouth, who are on fire at the moment. And then Chelsea, who... Yeah, it's always normally a stalemate in this fixture. It doesn't matter how bad Liverpool are, it doesn't matter how bad Chelsea are. It's always a stalemate in this game. So it might be that again. Hopefully not. Hopefully we'll have to win this game. But Trent Alexander-Arnold being out for 3 weeks is a big, big blow. But luckily for us, it isn't really long term. But yeah, really good win. Also they should finish the game off half time. Should have been 3 or 4-0 half time. And that would have been the tie over. But we did really well staying in the game. We had no Virgil, no Mo, no Endo, no Bajcetic, no Thiago, no Robertson, no Tsimikas. Have a said Szoboszlai, we hardly had any major players. We still had a good squad out. And then we brought on youngsters at 0-0, Bobby Clark and Connor Bradley, and give a shout out to both of them. Bobby Clark showing his experience, obviously had to pull also player down, I forgot which one it was, to stop the counter. I got a yellow card, which, why am I playing that? It's because it's smart. That's experience. That's what experienced players do, and he did really well. Connor Bradley, Trent Alexander-Arnold, I'll have to admit, Martinelli had him on strings when Martinelli came on, but Connor Bradley came there and he pocketed him. Honestly, he really, really did. Connor Bradley was superb, absolutely brilliant. Deserves a start tomorrow against Fulham, in my opinion, as well, for that performance. And obviously, Bolton won as player of the season last year, as they won the EFL trophy last year. So he was player of the season there last year, beating Burnley goalkeeper James Trafford to that award. But yeah, really good win. Hopefully we can keep everyone, the players we've got fit. We can't afford any more injuries, and hopefully we can get to the Carabao Cup final. But it could be a really good year for Liverpool if we keep it going. But that is the FA Cup. Some big talking points based on the draw. Tottenham will play Manchester City at home, which I think is a really intense game. We have Bristol Rovers and Norwich at home, which should be routine, but obviously it could not be, so who knows. But we should be winning that game. Gives opportunity for players to be rested as well. Fulham play Newcastle, all Premier League fixture. Newcastle have some really poor away form as well, so Fulham could fancy themselves in this tie. If they get knocked out the Carabao Cup, they'll be saying, why not go for the FA Cup as well? But if they go to the Carabao Cup final as well, they'll be like, oh, why not? Let's go for the FA Cup too. So it could be a really good season for Fulham if they progress even further in the FA Cup. But I think Newcastle, in my opinion, won the favourites to win the FA Cup, so I think Newcastle will win that as well. But yeah, some really good fixtures. I have done a video on that on my TikTok account, Lucy's Football Mind, where I reviewed the fourth round draw and seen the best ties for that. So if you want to watch that, then go on to my TikTok for analysis on the draw. But that is the FA Cup fourth round. Third round side done. The fourth round will be coming on the 27th of January. So can't wait for that. Hopefully we can progress even more. But some more big Prem teams could be out. Tottenham and Man City will be out. So it's shaping up to be a very interesting FA Cup campaign this season. But that is my analysis on the third round draw. So now let's move on to the next part, my prediction. So I will do my predictions for the Premier League, for the Champions League, Europa League, Europa Conference League, EFL Cup, FA Cup, La Liga, Ligue 1, Bundesliga, Serie A, Euro 2024, and the Copa America as well. So let's get started with the Premier League. It has been one of the best Premier League title races in a long time. Liverpool are leading the way with 45 points, but Manchester City are closing in, who have a game in hand, but 5 points off at the minute. Arsenal have lost the pace a lot and lost a lot of faith in manager Mikel Arteta right now. A lot of talk of him being sacked, which I think is quite harsh. But Arsenal on 14, and the surprise of the season, Aston Villa, can they go all the way and cause one of the biggest shocks in football history? Just like Leicester did in 2016. Who do I think will win the Premier League? My heart says Liverpool. My head says Manchester City. But I'm going to go with my heart. I'm going to say Liverpool. Why not back them? I think we've been brilliant this season, you know. We've got through games that, you know, last season would have just given up on. We would have flumped to the ground and that would have been a defeat. But this season we'll have a never ever die attitude to us. Mentality monsters are back in this Liverpool squad this season. Manchester City is obviously the obvious choice, but obviously want to be different, want to have faith in my team, and there is a Premier League title to be won this year. Manchester City haven't been at the level that they were last season, and Liverpool have been absolutely superb this season in all competitions. So I definitely think we'll have a really good chance. Our squad isn't the thickest. If we can keep everyone fit for the rest of the season, when the likes of Trent and Bajcetic and Thiago come back, then I definitely think we can have a run in at least 3 out of 4 of those competitions. But with Manchester City, I don't see Arsenal, unless they sign a striker, which I don't think they will. I'd say Arsenal should finish that game off against us at half time the other day. But flipping hell, how many chances they missed was bizarre. I'm really worrying for that Arsenal side, who have lost 3 games in a row now to West Ham, Fulham and Liverpool, of course, and are out the FA Cup, Carabao Cup. So the only hope they really have this season is the Premier League or the Champions League. Honestly, they're nowhere near the quality to win the Champions League, in my opinion. People have them as one of the favourites. I don't think they're one of the favourites, to be honest. I just don't think they have the quality to win the Champions League, especially that forward line. Bukayo Saka, Arsenal star boy. I do love Bukayo Saka, but this season he hasn't produced enough, in my opinion. Martinez has been very poor this year. I still like him a lot, but he's been really poor, and Jesus has just not been clinical enough. And then Ketty is just not good enough for Arsenal, in my opinion. But they've got a really good squad, Arsenal. I still think that a few signings away from world-class team, I still think they need a better left back. Zinchenko's not good enough, in my opinion. Ben White, he's solid. He's a solid right back, but he's not going to offer you something like Trippier does for Newcastle, Walker does for City, Trent does for Liverpool. He's just a solid right back. He's just there. I think the midfield's really good on their day. Odegaard's very creative. Declan Rice is solid, and then Kai Havertz has just been so poor, really has as well. So maybe another midfielder, 2 fullbacks and a striker. So maybe 4 signs away from a team that could definitely finish top of the Premier League. But right now, I just don't think they've got enough. Aston Villa, on the other hand, I think they'll drop off. Everyone's saying they'll drop off. I don't think they'll drop off absolutely massively. They've dropped off a little bit, but like that Man U game, they should have won that. They should have beat Sheffield United. Burnley, they got very lucky as well. So yeah, they are dropping off a bit, but yeah, I still think they'll be in that 4th, 5th position. And they'll definitely be dreaming about the Premier League. I definitely think the Conference League, on the other hand, is a very realistic trophy for Aston Villa to win, and they are favourites to win that competition, and they should win that competition with the squad they've got and the manager who has European experience, especially in the lower competitions as well. So, and then obviously Tottenham. Tottenham are very close to 1 point of Arsenal, which is mental. To be fair, they deserve credit. At the start of the season, I wasn't having any of this Tottenham praise, but now I have to admit they've done brilliantly to stay in that top four race, and they're not far off the top as well. Well, do I think they'll be in the title race? No. Top four is 100% reasonable for Tottenham, and they could get it as well, especially if Arsenal keep being poor. And Tottenham, with pretty much half the squad as well, are outperforming Arsenal right now. And when Madison comes back, when Van der Ven and all them come back, then Tottenham could be a very scary squad for the rest of the season, and could definitely push up to fourth or even third, which I think is probably the max will finish. I think it'll be City, Liverpool first and second, and then after that Tottenham and Villa, Arsenal could be in any of that order. But Tottenham are definitely a team to look out for. Otherwise, Man U just not consistent enough. Chelsea too far behind. Newcastle's away form's just dreadful. Brighton not consistent. Obviously, a lot of injuries as well. West Ham are pushing up, but I don't think they've got the squad to really push for a top four position this year as well. So I'm going to say the Premier League title winners are Liverpool, with Manchester City as runners-up, with Arsenal third, and we'll go Tottenham fourth. Why not? So the Champions League now. Excuse me. A lot of people have been saying Bayern Munich this year. I'm not going to go for that. I'm going to go for Manchester City. Bit boring. It's not really top quality team. Every team's lacking something. I think Bayern's defense is poor. I think Real Madrid are missing a world class striker. I don't think they'll get Kylian Mbappe in January. Probably this summer. But City are just complete, especially with KDB coming back. If they keep everyone fit for the rest of the season, then City should be first to win this competition. The level of the Champions League this year is just low. It's really, really low this year. Inter Milan could be a threat, have a hard time against Atletico Madrid as well. You know, runners up last season, Inter Milan, so they'll want to definitely try to redeem themselves this season as well. But PSV have been flying in the league, did decent in the group. Dortmund did alright. Dortmund did really well, finishing top of that group of death, which had Newcastle, PSG, and Milan in it. Arsenal not good enough to win the Champions League, definitely not. Sociedad have been good this year, and PSG absolutely not. No way PSG win the Champions League this season as well. So the favourites are definitely Madrid, Bayern, City. But I think City are the most complete squad. Obviously, they'll want to build on that Champions League win from last season as well, which is why I think they'll do it. Just a boring shout, this, to be honest. But for the Champions League, I will go for Manchester City as my winners. On the Europa League, a lot of people saying Liverpool or Leverkusen. I think we'll play them in one. But I either think Leverkusen will get knocked out shockingly by somebody, or we'll play them somewhere like in the semi-final. I have went for Liverpool. That's only because I supported them. If I get why other people would say no, obviously a shock, kind of like what I'll do with Aston Villa and the Conference League, which is next on the list. But yeah, you have to back Liverpool for this. Strongest team in this by a country mile. Leverkusen been unbelievable this season. But they are missing a lot of players through AFCON as well. Luckily for them, that doesn't affect the Europa League campaign. They'll all be back by then. But if one of them gets injured away, then that could be a big blow for Leverkusen. But over 80 goals scored this season. It's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal by Bayer Leverkusen, and 100% a threat. Liverpool have to win this competition. I think this one is a one Jurgen Klopp will want a lot, because we lost the 2015-2016 final against Sevilla 3-1 in Basel as well. So hopefully a bit of redemption for Jurgen Klopp in that competition, and it's a trophy I want to win. The finals in Dublin. A lot of Liverpool fans are Irish. It'll be a massive, massive crowd over there in Dublin as well. And we haven't won this competition in the Jurgen Klopp, so to complete the set would be absolutely brilliant as well. And I feel like it's our only chance to win this competition under Jurgen Klopp. I can't see us being in the Europa League again after next season. We'll 100% be in the Champions League next year, and then after that, I think we'll keep building on that as well. So a big chance for us to win a trophy as well, and we're 100% should be winning this competition, and it's ours to lose. So for Europa League, I'm going for Liverpool as my winners. Europa Conference League, I was saying I've went for a shock. I've not went for Aston Villa. I went for Frankfurt. Yeah, really weird one. I was looking at the teams who were left in the competition, who was playing who in the preliminary round before the round 16, and I picked Frankfurt because they've got European experience, a few players still there from that Europa League win a few seasons ago as well. So yeah, Aston Villa favourites. Fiorentina, who lost the final last year, they'll be up there as well. They were the other team I was thinking about, but I want to go for Frankfurt. They're sixth in the Bundesliga right now, which is probably where you expect them as well. Yeah, I want to go for a bold shout. Don't have too much to say on Frankfurt. I haven't got a lot of facts on Frankfurt, except really getting the Europa League final against Rangers a few years ago. But I just want to go for a shot, really, and I think they're a solid side and got a few good players as well. And they put up some shocks this season. They beat Bayern Munich 5-1, absolutely like blew them away. As well with a 5-1 victory in that game. So I want to go for something different. I think Villa will get knocked out in the quarters of the semis. Really, like, it'll be a big shock. I don't know by who really. Maybe Fiorentina, maybe Lille. I was looking at them. Maybe they could do something this season. But for Conference League, I went bold. I went quite hopefully smart in Eintracht Frankfurt. EFL Cup, this one's quite boring to be honest. I went for Liverpool again. Middlesbrough Chelsea playing tonight when this is recorded, which is around 7 o'clock on Tuesday the 9th of January. But I've went, yeah, Liverpool. We've got Fulham, we'll have to beat Fulham. If we don't beat Fulham in these two legs, then it's just a big waste of a chance to win a trophy. I know we're missing a lot of players, but we should still be beating Fulham in a two-legged game. Quite disappointed with a home in the first leg. Liverpool, they're famous for being like absolutely unbelievable. Anfield's absolutely a fortress in most games anyway. But a second leg, the atmosphere is one of the best in Europe for a European night, or in this case a Carabao Cup night or Mickey Mouse Trophy night if I want to go there. But yeah, trophy I want to win. Big chance looking at the teams left in it. There isn't really a massive team left in it except us. Chelsea, obviously a big threat, but I definitely think we can beat them in the final. Middlesbrough as well. Hopefully they get the final because it would be a big opportunity for them. I think it's 20 years since they won the League Cup as well, so that would be good for them to get the final. Also, if we get knocked out, Middlesbrough go through, then I'll be supporting Middlesbrough in the final. But I do want Liverpool to win, as I am a Liverpool fan, of course. But I'll go with Liverpool-Chelsea final. I think Chelsea are home in the second leg. I think it'll just be that big, little bit too much of a push for Middlesbrough to get over the line in a two-legged semi-final. If it was one leg at the Riverside, then I think Middlesbrough should bat themselves, really, and have a really good go. But I will go Liverpool-Chelsea final for us to win. Quite boring. But yeah, it's hard to think Liverpool can win 3 trophies. I definitely think we could win 2. It has like 21-22 vibes for us. Like when we're going for the quadruple and just missed out on the Premier League by a point, and then that Champions League final, which sucked the life out of us. We should have won that game. We deserved to win that final. But what is what is, I suppose. But yeah, quite boring again. Have to back your team. I'm going for Liverpool. Now the FA Cup. Here's another bold one. Obviously we're still in it. Arsenal are out. That's the first big team out. But I'm going for Newcastle United. And just listen to us for a second. Because I think They haven't won a trophy since 1969. They haven't won the FA Cup since 1955. Their last major trophy site they've actually won. Obviously, they won the championship, I think, like twice or something, but don't really count. But I went for Newcastle. Obviously, they're out the Premier League. They're out the Champions League. Sorry, they're not out the Premier League, but they're out I don't see them pushing for top four this year. I think seventh or sixth is probably the best they can do this year, to be honest. With you, unless the away form picks up massively in the rest of the season. They're out the Carabao Cup, they're out the Champions League, and the Premier League. They're just like floating in ninth at the minute. They're starting to get players back. They had really strong side out against Sunderland. Still a few players missing like Joe Willock and Harvey Barnes like that. But like when they get them back, I think they can definitely push for this. I think Eddie Howe will be up for a push in this competition as well. Win a trophy for Newcastle. Will show that he could be the guy to take Newcastle to where their Saudi owners want to be as well. Which is obviously the best of the best. But there is a lot of doubt. Eddie Howe is just like a stepping stone in the journey, which I think is really, really harsh. But when the FA Cup would like tell everyone that I'm Eddie Howe and I'm good enough to take Newcastle to the top. Obviously, Liverpool, one of the favourites, Manchester City or Tottenham. I thought Tottenham would be up there as well. I think Tottenham could beat City because they're at home and City have a dreadful record at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium since it opened in 2019, I believe. So and that's another big team out as well. Chelsea playing Villa, there's another big team out because Villa obviously this season will class them as a big team as well. So there's three potentially already out there, with Arsenal already being out as well. So it could be a really big opportunity for not mid-table, but a team who you wouldn't expect to go to the FA Cup and win it. I think it's a big opportunity for Newcastle. I think Manchester United have to push for this trophy. Might sound stupid, but if Man United win the FA Cup this year, that'll put so much pressure off Erik ten Hag, if he's actually still manager there, by May, which I think he will. I don't think they'll sack him. Bit daft, especially getting a new 25% ownership by Sir Jim Ratcliffe as well. But yeah, I think Newcastle could definitely win this. I hope they don't. No offense, I'd rather Liverpool win it. But I think Newcastle could definitely, or at least make a run at. Definitely, I could see them get two semi-finals, which is obviously another day out at Wembley, but they'll want to win it. And I definitely think it's a good chance. Fulham away is a tough game. Obviously, a bad record away from home this season, but they've got a bit of a better record away in like cup competitions as well. Got a draw at the Port of Prince, got a draw at the San Siro. Should have beat Chelsea, and the Bayern Man U at Old Trafford as well. So they've got a good record in the domestic competitions and the Champions League, of course, away from home, better than the league. But if they improve their away form and beat Fulham, then who knows? But I just want to be bold here. I can't see Liverpool going to win the quadruple or a quadruple. People won't class this as a quadruple for win because we're in the Europa League. But I can't see us win the quadruple. I think this is the trophy where I can see us like facing like a City away or a Tottenham away, and we'll just fall at the last hurdle. But hopefully I'm wrong. But I've went for Newcastle to be interesting. La Liga, this one's quite tough. It's out of two teams, isn't it? It's out of Girona and Real Madrid, and the big question is, can Girona go all the way? No. I'm going to say no. I really want them to. I did a bit last week on Girona and the rise of their football club since the 2017 takeover from the City Football Group. So watch that in the last episode of the Football Talk. Really good watch for you guys. But I went for Real Madrid. I think they've just got the quality. They've got the squad depth and they've got the experience as well. And they've got the best player on the planet right now, Jude Bellingham. So I think they'll just go all the way. I think they'll push well in the Champions League as well. Real Madrid, definitely. I can see them get to a semi-final as well. So I I'm seeing Real Madrid just because of all those reasons. I hope Girona do it. I really do. Would it be better than Leicester 2016? I'm gonna say no, but it'd be absolutely remarkable. Probably the best title win in La Liga history, like shock wise, unless I'm missing some. Maybe Valencia, who won it I think in 2002, which was quite a big shock, back then I believe. So that could be really interesting. But I will go for Real Madrid as my La Liga champions this season. League on this one, nice, quick and easy. PSG, Nice just don't score enough goals to win a league and are not strong enough. This is kind of like a rebuild PSG, kind of like Liverpool rebuild PSG. Bring 13 players in, I believe, in the summer. So it is a rebuild season for them. And obviously they'll expect them to win the league. They won't win the Champions League, not good enough. But Luis Enrique is building the squad. PSG went for a different approach. On Kylian Mbappe could be going. He'll be there till the end of the season at least. But I still think he'll sign a new contract. Hopefully I'm wrong. But I can just see happening all this saga, all this talk, and then he just signs a new deal. It'd be absolutely horrendous. But PSG, yeah, too strong. Terrible league. Absolutely pathetic league, honestly. They've had to drop 2 teams out of it because of how bad it is. It's down 18 from 20 now. Absolutely terrible league. But PSG, nice and easy for that one. Next up, Bundesliga. This one's, except from the Premier League, probably the hardest, to be honest. For the top leagues wise, I have went for Bayern Munich. I think they've just got that bit of experience, a bit more than Leverkusen. Leverkusen quite a young squad, a fantastic young squad, but I think they'll just kind of like Dortmund, just fall at the last hurdle, and Bayern will just get it again. The amount of goals Leverkusen scores is unbelievable this season. What they've done, but Bayern Munich, obviously, I've said they're not going to win the Champions League because I think that quite part at the back. But yeah, so I think that's why Bayern won't win the Champions League. But Bundesliga's there to lose. So hopefully, I want them to do it. I don't want them. I want Harry Kane to win a trophy. And if he doesn't win the Bundesliga this season, then I'm gonna start believing the Harry Kane curse. Yeah, Bayern Munich should win this Bundesliga this season. I think Leverkusen will not drop off, but just fall a little bit. They'll dip and fall a bit, and Bayern will take advantage of that, and then they'll probably win the league by, I'll say, 4 points. So for Bundesliga, I'll go for Bayern Munich. Serie A, this one's quite easy. Inter Milan, strongest team in Serie A. You know, Juventus are pushing this season, but I just don't think they've got enough. Obviously, there's still talk of them getting more points deductions as well, and there is background noise about that. Obviously, Inter, who knows, Inter could get some points deductions. Apparently they're in bankruptcy right now. So if the twist rules or something, or they've lost too much money or something like that, then they could get points deducted this season. So yeah, there's talk about that, but I just still think Inter too strong. They've got the best player in Serie A this season in Lautaro Martinez, who has been on absolute fire this season. So I think Inter are just too strong for Serie A this year. Quite a quiet Serie A season. Juventus probably the closest contenders and maybe the only title challengers for Inter Milan. But yeah, Napoli have dropped off absolutely. They've been awful this season, Napoli. Really, really have. Kvaratskhelia has been quite poor. Osimhen, obviously he's at AFCON now. There's talk of him going to Chelsea. I think he supported Chelsea as a kid, so that could be interesting if he goes to Chelsea, which I don't think he should. This January transfer window. If he's gonna go to Chelsea, go in the summer. Or go to Madrid if Mbappe doesn't go. But that'll be interesting. But I think Inter Milan just too strong. Right, we'll go on to the countries now, and we will go to the continental competitions where we have Euro 2024. And I'm gonna say it's coming home, it's coming, football's coming home. England are going to win the Euros. I am saying it. Clip it, record it, do what you like. I am saying it. I really, really have faith in this England side. I think the main challengers are France. But if we can get past the France hurdle, then yep, I think Portugal are up there as well. I think they've got world-class players in most positions. Cristiano Ronaldo has had an unbelievable 2023. I think he scored 54 goals in 2023 as well. So, wow. Absolutely wow to that. But I think it will be England, and I think it's England's to lose. We could have two of the potential best players in the world by then in Jude Bellingham and Harry Kane if they're not injured, and continue this fantastic half the season for so far. But yeah, I think it'll come home and